Hi, everyone. It's been over a month since our last webinar, and I was really excited to get together again today. We'll just wait a minute or two till everybody comes on. Let me know where you're from. Let me know who you are. Hi, Miriam. Hello, Maria. Hi, Helga. Hello, hello. Just wait one more minute and we'll get into everything. Hi, Petra. Don't be shy. And as we go along, hello, Helga. Hello, Katrine. As we go along, if you have any questions, please feel free to write your questions on the chat here. Hello, Esmeralda. Please feel free to write your questions, or if you don't think of anything now and you think of something later on, send them through email or messenger or social media. We'll get back to you. I love questions. Don't be shy. Wherever I can help, I'm going to help you. From Madrid, wow. I love how technology just brings us all together. Hello, Targibaka, or Targabica? I don't know. Good afternoon. Okay, so let's get started. Our lesson today is on allergies and seasonal allergies. Hello, Loretta. It's on seasonal allergies and allergies in general. What's the difference? Seasonal allergies is usually called hay fever or, allergic rhinitis, or, it's usually seasonal allergies are a specific time of the year, like from March to June. And it's where, symptoms are intense, okay? It's where an allergic response happens, usually to pollen from trees, from flowers, from grass. Other allergies can be from dust mites. There's also allergies not only from pollen that are seasonal, but also having to do with mold spores, because many times due to an increase in dampness and humidity during certain seasons, more mold is created, and that also triggers other allergies, like, let's say, for mites, dust mites, and etc. Okay. Then there's the other allergies that can be all year round, like food allergies or pet dander or dust, insect stings, or what have you. But in general, allergies has to do with a hypersensitive immune response in general. Okay. Now, what happens is the immune response is an overreaction, right, from a certain allergen that triggers, triggering and producing more immunoglobulin in the body, antibodies, right? So these antibodies trigger histamines and other chemicals that lead to allergic symptoms. And on the other hand, we also have inflammation, that these chemicals cause inflammation and other symptoms affecting the respiratory tract, etc. So some symptoms of allergies and seasonal allergies are nasal congestion, runny nose, sneezing, itchy eyes, watery eyes, itchy nose, itchy throat, in general, watery eyes. Fatigue is also feeling unusually tired. It's also a symptom. Usually, in order for someone to get diagnosed we know that diagnosis is only from doctors and they have to have a special examination or allergic reaction testing. Okay, here with our device and with our technology, we measure the stressors, the stress around allergens. Okay, not allergy testing. Only doctors can do allergy testing. Okay, but we do help with the symptoms. Okay, so our scope here is in general to reduce the stress and help with the desensitization. Okay, and what we have to do is, and what we're looking for when we're working with our device is, first of all, we have to see what a person is sensitive to. Okay, and what they're reacting to. We see that from the matrix. Most of you know. Okay, I don't know if some of you are advanced or newcomers. Okay, I may talk as if you know certain basics around the matrix. If you need more information, just let me know and I can guide you. Okay, but I'm just going to move on. Okay, so reactions. Our matrix shows us reactions to certain items that may trigger an issue. Okay, chemicals. So we're going to be looking into the biological war, chemicals. We're going to be looking into homotoxicology, looking into how inflammation is going on in our body, what's going on. We're going to be looking also at the psychosomatic aspect of allergies, because there's psychosomatic responses associated with allergies. Okay, it's like, this is our body, right? You see this cup, it's full of water, right? Well, this is our stress level. Okay, we usually want our stress level somewhere in the middle. We'll never be zero because we're always around certain situations, chemicals, family stress, daily work stress, school stress, dietary stress, allergens, and what have you, different types of stressors. Okay, so we want ourselves around here. But as the stress level in our body goes up, then just one little cherry on the cake will trigger that response. And then we'll have our issues, right? So psychosomatic is also a big factor involved that we'll be looking into, because definitely they do cause symptoms. And how do they work? How does this work? The stress in the body, it works through the psychosomatic is the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. And that axis is activated, leading to a release of cortisol and stress hormones. That triggers then the next response. Okay, there's the autonomic nervous system that triggers heart rate, blood pressure, psychological functions, okay, and all this. So leading to allergic reactions. Allergic reactions involve the immune system and we may be reacting to actually harmless substances, but these symptoms lead to like itching, sneezing, inflammation. So psychosomatic factors can influence the severity and frequency of these reactions. And this is due to the cortisol that is released in the body, because prolonged cortisol release suppresses the immune system. There's the histamine release that we'll be looking at, that psychological stress can release histamines that exaggerate allergic symptoms. Anxiety and hyper-awareness. Heightened sensitivity, anxiety makes, allergic reactions intensify. There's also the negative feedback loop that anxiety and allergies lead to stress and worsen the allergy symptoms. It's like it's a loop. It's a vicious cycle. Emotional triggers. triggers sometimes, conditioned responses, like, past trauma. We'll have to be going into past trauma as well. So many panels that we can go in to address. Obviously, in just one session, you can't do that. But usually when a person comes to me with allergies, ideally, they should come September. So come March, that gives us enough time so that they can be better, okay, when it comes to the seasonal allergies. That's ideal. But sometimes people do come to me in March and saying, I'm scared of my allergies that are coming. Okay, obviously, they'll have a better year than last year, but the following year will be much better. You got it? Because all this takes time. Everything is just not a press of the button, and that is what we have to explain to everybody. What got them there is not just 1 second. Okay, it's a buildup of their lives. Okay, and a buildup of issues that has got them there where they are. So it needs time. So basically, the time frame, you need at least 3 months with them. Okay, that's from my experience. Ideally, you need 3 months with them to get them back on track with reducing their stress, working on everything that you have to do with them, and managing what they're doing on a daily lifestyle. Because one of the things that is very, very important is that first session with the SOC. Remember our SOC, we're not going to be going through it now, but the SOC is the suppression, obstruction to cure. In the beginning, it's the questions that you give. And it's the daily lifestyle that they have. Plenty of fluids. That's number one. They need plenty of fluids. If a person is not drinking enough good water and good juices, okay, that's one of the basic pillars of good health. Okay, so that's number one. That's their first homework that you have to put them on track with. Second, good food, clean food. Get them cleaned up, not junk food, not fried foods, not, get them cleaned up, because, that will help lowering that stress level, right? Having good sleep, adequate sleep. If a person is sleeping 4 to 5 hours a day, obviously their allergies will act up because your cortisol level will be acting up again. So, these are basic questions and issues that you need to address and get them back on. So it's not only pressing buttons, it's not only, doing the therapy, it's also helping them in their daily lifestyle and daily lives, because that's also the 50% of their therapy. 50% is what you're doing here with them. The other 50% is what they're also doing, right? Did I forget anything? Let me see. My little cheat notes, my notes. Regular exercise. That's also one of the SOC questions. Very important, because regular exercise reduces cortisol, right? Makes the oxygen flow, makes the blood flow, improves overall health, manages allergy symptoms. Okay. Okay, another thing that we're going to be going into as well is genetic factors, seeing if there's also genetic issues involved in their stress reaction. Okay, reducing that stress. What environmental triggers and homotoxicology, as I said, the immune system. Okay, now, something else I also want to mention here is herbs. Some herbs that will help for allergies. Great for allergies: quercetin, pine bark, zinc, vitamin C, bromelain, turmeric, curcumin, ashwagandha, scutellaria, resveratrol. These are great. And there are some supplements that has a mix of all these together. Okay, so they don't need to purchase all of them in one, right? There are some supplements that are especially made for allergies, and they have all of this combined, and they're great. They're really great, and they can take 2 or 3 a day, and it really helps. Okay. Another thing that they can do apart from herbal supplementation, during the time of the pollen season and those seasonal times, check. There's apps. There's apps on your phone that you can check the pollen count and how much pollen is in the air. Keeping windows closed is important so the pollen doesn't and the dust doesn't get in the house. Showering and changing clothes daily is very important, and not putting those same clothes back in the closet. Okay, that's the worst thing. Okay, because with pollen, you need to rinse them off. It's also very important to rinse. There's nasal sprays with ocean water, and it's very important to do 3 times a day. Getting the dust and the pollen out of the hairs in the nose, because they get trapped, and that's what causes the sneezing, etc. So it's very important to keep that area clean as well 3 times a day. Steam and inhalation is good. Air purifiers and certain vacuum cleaners that reduce allergens within the home, very important. Okay, just giving you ideas of what to tell your clientele to help them. Okay, now we'll also be working with the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a very crucial, it plays a really crucial role in the immune system and anti-inflammatory responses. It's the connection between the vagus nerve and allergies. It provides this insight in how to modulate allergic reactions. So vagus nerve is a key component of the parasympathetic nervous system. It extends through the neck and into the chest and into the abdomen, going through major organs like the heart, the lungs, the digestive tract, okay, all those areas that are prone to allergic symptoms, right? So it's very important because it will help with the respiratory system. So we'll be working with that as well. The vagus nerve helps with the airway inflammation. As I said, now it helps with the histamine release, because activating the vagus nerve can modulate the histamine release in the mast cells, okay, from very severe allergic reactions. It has anti-inflammatory effects, as I said, so it's very important to do vagal tone, okay, because it helps with your immune system and lowers inflammation and regulates stress. Okay, so let's get to our amazing technology and hands-on. So let's see here. Let's see, first of all, I put my son in because he has an allergic tendency. So, let's see where he's at. Inflammation. Let's search the matrix for inflammation. Okay, search. Heart joints, inflammation. Don't see much here. Asthma, there we go. So now remember, when we're trying to see reactions in the matrix, we're looking at whatever's over 90. Obviously, whatever is over 100 is SOS, is acute, but the 90s are still there. Okay. Now, I had a question in the past saying, why don't you look at the low numbers? Because low numbers are chronic issues. Yes, true. Low numbers are chronic issues, but Right now, I want to look at what's acute, what we have now, because when a person is coming to you, you want to make sure that whatever is in the now, you push it aside. You'll work on the chronic issues, and working through the acute indirectly works also the chronic issues as well. But, let's look at inflammation on him on the chronic level. Now, really low numbers can be, these are acute inflammation, not chronic inflammation. My son, when he was very young, he was in and out of the hospital with laryngitis and a lot of cortisone, and asthma, and a lot of that. This was way before I was working in this field. So when I started this, I started this to help my children. And we found great results, but that's why these are chronic. They're there. We see them. We're there, but he's so much better. And, you can work, if a person has issues, obviously you would load some of the chronic issues, but at a later stage. For me, I won't start working from day one on chronic issues because you may get a crisis therapy on him. I'd like to do right now whatever is acute. Later on, I will work on the chronic issues. That's my way of working. There are different ways of working, and a lot of people work in different ways, and that's always acceptable. No way is wrong. It's what you feel, you have better results. And it always depends on the situation. On the situation that you have. Is it the first time you're seeing somebody? Is it the 10th time you're seeing somebody? You weigh everything. So let's say this is the first time I'm seeing somebody and I want to see the inflammation. Let's see histamine. You don't need to write the whole word. You can write part of the word and search. Maybe I didn't write it. Histamine. Histidine. Not so high, more chronic, right? His histidine is more chronic. You see here? Let's look at allergies. Allergy. Oh my. Don't like that. I really hope that he hasn't done anything like that. But something came up, and you just never know. He's a young boy, and I don't think so though. But for this to come up, I don't know. Pollen, there we go, at 99. He has allergies in pollen in March, April, and beginning of May. His eyes were getting watery. He's much better, much better. He doesn't have a lot of it, but it is in the 99. It's an issue without being very, very acute. What do we do here? Let's do an individual reaction first off, and let's get more information. When we do individual reactions, we get more information on the issue, individual reaction. So we know that the pollen was at 99 reaction. I'm jotting it down. There's a reason for it. Individual reaction. When you do individual reactions, you're doing a testing specifically on the pollen. Now look at this. We get a total reaction. This is up to 100, right? He is reacting to pollen 98%. So there is a reaction to pollen, definitely there. There is also an allergic reaction, 79%. It's over 50, anything over 50 is an allergic reaction, okay? And he's resonating with it, meaning that there is also a psychological attachment to it. So I do have to do also the psychosomatic. This is giving me that kind of indication. The good thing is that he is coherent. His mind and body, he's in tune to himself. It's 102%. Great. More information, prescribe item allergic, there's an allergic reaction, homeopathic. Homeopathy will be good for him. And do sarcodal therapy. So homeopathy. So our device is always telling us where to go. Homeopathy and sarcodal therapy. Okay. And I'm going to do also the psychosomatic. So, from just point one, you have an indication of where you need to go, right? Let's do some rectification here. Get him started. Let me close the door. That is the neighbor's dog. It's summer now, and we have all the windows open. Okay, 67. Let's do it again. %. We'll do it one more time to get a good rectification, and we'll keep going. Okay, 95. So, close. Let's get, there's a scroll bar here. So it also has link detox. So we need to detox. There's giving us the indication for home toxicology. And in the psychosomatic, denial. There is denial. It's the age. I know. That's always the response I get. I know. Denial. Okay, let's go. Keep on going. 347. Always look at what the device is trying to talk to you. The software is trying to talk to you, and is always giving you information, more information of where you need to go. 347. Go to index number. Cough, fix, emotional grief. It's probably for the cough and lung. Okay, so, you can either do a little treatment there, it's giving you, or you can load it in your little blue box and have it working throughout the entire therapy, however you choose. Okay, what next? I like to look at, go to the situation hold and say allergies. Or how about seasonal allergies? Okay, when you go to situation hold, it will give you more hint of what is needed to be done. So double click on that and it says metabolic or genetic homeopathy. There we go. So genetics, how I said in the beginning, that's another factor, genetics. And metabolic, very important. That your metabolic system, it's a It's a combination of your immune, your digestive, your hormonal system. So basically really, really important. Okay, so we need to also work that. Let's see what else. Now, filtering a little bit the matrix, let's look at biological war and see perhaps something that may give you some more hints or give you, some information of what needs to be cleared. I see mosquitoes, definitely, it's summer now. Whooping cough. I need to call him. He's coming up whooping cough. So maybe, there's been, here in Greece, there's been a lot of dust the last month, a lot of strange dust and, biological war. Personally, I think it has something to do with that. So we can load here anything that's over 90 and put it on piggyback. I like putting it if things on piggyback here because, you make your therapy even stronger and you're making it stronger with his acute items. Let's look, blood, again, lymphololeukemia. Doesn't mean he has leukemia, but his lymph system is overloaded. It's reacting. Okay, his uric acid, maybe he's not drinking enough water, maybe drinking too much. Okay, so chromosomes, good. The chromosomes here, now chromosomes, I don't see anything in the reds in the chromosomes, which is great, but genetic homeopathy was coming up and genetic, somewhere else we saw, again, genetics. So we're going to be having to look into not only from the matrix, but from the trivector DNA. Okay, combination doctor. I like looking at the combination doctor because it gives you hints at what is most reacting and that what we need to address, things that we need to address. Stress and nerval overstimulation. There we go. What did we say in the beginning? That stress and nerval overstimulation increases cortisol, and so allergies result. Spleen repair for our immune, because allergies are immune responses, right? Skin, okay. Cervical for his neck, large intestine. A lot of allergies begin also with gut health. We need to look into the gut health and bowel flora. Another thing that I didn't mention in the beginning for supplementation is definitely with allergies, we need like acidophilus or a pre or probiotic 2 times a day. It's a must because the bowel flora is very, very important. And possibly that is why also the metabolic is coming up. Okay. Brain repair, poor memory. Okay. And his libido. All right. Those are in the reds. Okay, so need to be addressed. Let's look at diseases. What's coming up? Again, leukemia. We don't want something like that coming up because leukemia is an issue that I see a lot. I see a lot, especially, these last few years. Okay, a low immune system can trigger leukemia and, care needs to be taken. Pain, okay. But that is an immune response. It doesn't help, okay? And when a person has allergies is like a little bell ringing that something is not right with their immune system and it needs to be addressed because if they don't address it, it's not going to get better and other things will come up. So it's just not enough taking histamines and cortisone and all those things that people usually take during seasonal allergies and leaving it, because just doing that every year, their allergies will get worse. And the thing is that with allergies getting worse, it's more of an immune response. And then definitely something else is just around the corner. Okay, so we always say that allergies are a little bell that's saying something is not right with the immune response. Here is the hay fever, 98. We could have put also, let's also do an individual reaction for hay fever. It's at 98. I'm writing that down. There's a reason why I'm writing it down. I will be telling you, just keeping you on the edge. Let's return to main and do an individual reaction here. I'm keeping you on edge. Now, look, COVID is coming up for him. A lot of people are coming up with COVID, and I truly believe also people with long COVID have COVID coming up in the matrix. Have that in mind. They may not have COVID right now, but may be having long COVID. So have that in the back of your mind. Now, hay fever, on the other hand, from pollen, if you consider, these reactions is at 96, but allergic reaction with hay fever is only 22. Yeah, with pollen, you have an allergic reaction. Hay fever is an allergy in itself, so that's logical. Okay, but he is resonating 78, so his hay fever is also interconnected possibly with the psychosomatic and stress level. Okay, let's see, homeopathic toxic system. It's coming up. He needs vitamin therapy and energetic and suffering. Needs to be looked into. So normally I would do the zap until I get a good rectification. I'm not going to be doing it now because I need to go over some more things with you. Vitamins, let me put that down for nutrition. And what else? Yeah, homotoxicology. See, I have so many panels to go into just from these two individual reactions that we did. Okay, let's do a close and let's go to the 9465 go-to index, get some more. Ooh, diesel. He has been exposed to some toxic exposure to diesel, probably when he was putting gas in his car or his bike or whatever. Let's put that there. Okay, or maybe inhaling diesel from the other cars because, he's on his bike, could be. So I'd like to load these. Now, what I want to do is go to the chain reaction. We have a wonderful app here, application, the chain reaction. Now, the highest concern value was 99 for pollen and 98 for hay fever. Let's put the 99. Interesting. Look at this. 99 gives me the fact that the issue with his pollen issues came at the age of almost 3 years old, 2.8 years old. Yeah, at that age, he was having allergic reaction. He had a really bad allergic reaction, I remember. And he started asthma and all that at 2.5 years old. Interesting. You can take a look at the matrix here, the things that are coming up, and maybe something you can remember, this sinusitis, some guilt. Yeah, he was a little boy. He was very active. Maybe I unconsciously made him feel guilty. I don't know. Tobacco at the age of 2. No, we never smoked, so that wasn't an issue. Spinal cord. Interesting. So at the age of 3, he fell. He had a serious fall. And maybe that was a stressor that triggered afterwards. It was in the winter, it was in October, November, and then the pollen in the summer. Something's there. This is interesting, right? He had a very serious fall from a trampoline and he fell unconscious. Okay. Interesting. Okay, stomach. He was also always very sensitive. Also, stomach and some cow's milk. He couldn't drink cow's milk. He was lactose intolerant. So maybe he drank some cow's milk at that time a little bit, and that also bothered him. So, different factors in this age comes up, and this is a story. It's always trying to tell us a story. This is really interesting. So add to report. This is all added there. Great. And I load these items so they're piggybacked throughout the entire therapy. And there we go. That is how we can use the chronic numbers, because those are chronic. The ones associated to the 99 that I put in for the pollen came up, those chronic values that I put in. You got it? So they're specific to the issue I'm working on. Okay? And you're breaking that chain reaction as to what he has today. So let's go to short sarcodes and load the information. Remember, in the beginning somewhere in the first individual reaction, it said sarcodal therapy. So let's load here and go to some sarcodes, important sarcodes for him. First of all, I want to work on the endocrine. Remember the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis that I spoke of in the beginning? Breaking that axis, so, for the psychosomatic. So you want to do this a couple of times so you can get a good repaired. Okay, I'll do it like 3 times. If you don't get it repaired, it's okay, because you'll be putting it on the body viewer on piggyback either way. Okay, do always kidneys. And it's interesting, we always need to do kidney, because remember in the chronic issues, there were kidney issues for him. I don't know if you remember in the beginning that I showed you his chronic issues showed kidney, probably from all the cortisone that he took, unfortunately. Okay, let's do the lymph. The main organs of elimination. Kidney, lymph, liver, and we're also going to do the small intestine, which covers basically the entire digestive system, because we also want to work the digestive system. Very important, as I said, for the bowel flora. Okay, and let's do the liver. Great. And let's do the small intestine, which covers the entire digestive. Liver is also here too. Okay, if there's, it's a good idea, because down here there's a yellow little box here, and you could put mucus, let's say mast cells, because allergies allergic reactions do activate some mast cells that we don't want. Inflammation, okay? So you can, check on these to piggyback. Also those. Which ones? Let's also do lungs. And of course, we're going to do sinus as well, since we're doing the seasonal. See, toxicity is how high it is. Repair at 100. Wow, great. Sinus. Okay, let's do it one more time. Now, okay, that's great. Now, if we had also an issue of skin allergies, you can also do skin from here. Okay. You can do unconscious search too to piggyback some more. Look, simple psycho-emotional plus sarcoidal. Interesting. Okay, so you can do. Now remember, these numbers down here, you want a repaired number over everything else, right? The repaired is a rectification, and all the others is inflammation, infection, degeneration, and toxicity, right? So we want our repaired number at least 10 points over all the others, right? We've done it a few times. It hasn't corrected. This is a startup anyhow. So whatever you see that's not corrected, we're always going to put it on our piggyback programs. What else can we put? We can put the sinus. We can put rhinitis here. We can do all sorts of things here. Eyes. Here on the right, there are different issues with the eyes. Okay, these are not allergic reactions, though. These are conjunctivitis and what have you, cataracts. Okay, so we'll be working the eyes here. Eye. If there is an issue with, watery eyes and inflammation, you can work it from here as well. Now, this is part of your startup, right? Warming up the client, okay? Not prepared, but it's okay. Let's go on. We'll go, where to go? Link to vocal cords, neck, C5 vertebrae. Interesting, right? Let's load that. Probably part of his accident that he had when he was almost 3 years old. Risks. Next step. Trauma. Interesting. Now, this could be physical trauma or emotional trauma, but it does mean that we do need to look into it seriously. Connective tissue, bacteria, toxicity, stress, infection, degeneration, hypoadrenia, liver, allergies, there we go. Sensory, hydration, I load everything that's over 90. Okay, he has quite a few. I need to sit him down. But subspace is always a good solution since I can't sit him down. He's on the run all the time. So I'm going to click on allergy, though, the last one, because I want to do a virtual doctor test on it. Okay, so I've loaded everything on here with the last click once again on allergy. So let's treat above areas. since it's working on this now, the point that you put things in the risk profile on here, you're able to open up now the body viewer because you have everything loaded from the risk profile there. I'll show you in just a minute. Look, rectification 124, great. So now I want to do a virtual doctor test on the allergy that I have clicked on the little green line here. Okay, virtual doctor test. And while that's running, I'm opening up my body viewer. I'm starting to load my piggybacks. Look. Let me just show you one moment. On the body viewer, all the piggybacks of the risk profile is loaded. So while I'm doing work in the foreground, piggyback, I'll have the body viewer running on whatever unconscious choices it'll choose. It's choosing acupuncture kidney channel. We'll see later on what else it will choose. Let's go back here. Now, he's 75% in unconscious cooperation, okay, relative to allergies. Forgiveness is the door to resolution. Okay, now is maybe the time to find the hidden information. I relax and release tensions daily. He needs that. So primary cause, heredity, yes, because the issue of allergies on my son is in his DNA. I had it when I was young. My mother had it. My grandfather had it. You know, allergies were running in the family. Okay, so primary cause, so that raises the stress level as far as reactions to you're like he's born with it. Okay, so that raises the chances of his allergic reactions, right? And his autoimmune emotional stress. There we go. Secondary spiritual oppression and pathogens, but these two are his main triggers. He needs to have exercise in his life. Flower pine. Now, remember one of the herbs that I told you is pine bark. In the list that I said in the beginning, pine bark. There we go. Bach flower pine. Essential lipoid factors for garlic oils, scarlatinum, pyrogenum, pork, some exposure, some more anti-inflammatory, homeopathic, okay. So more entangled areas, blood. So we need to work dark field analysis. Emotional risk. Water, acid, alkaline. He's not drinking enough water. He needs to be more alkaline. Circulation and cardiovascular. Needs to get cardio in his life. Okay, you can also double click for even more information. Blood. Again, emotions. Emotions is one of his main factors. He's a boy that doesn't talk a lot. He thinks he has it's in him, okay? And he's, that's why. Emotional risks, blood. So blood, his emotions affecting blood. Maybe that's why leukemia is also coming up. Need to work that. Bowel flora for the water, acid, alkaline. We need to work his bowel flora and that environment down there. Circulation, brain. Okay, and cardiovascular. Toxic burden. Okay, he smokes. Unfortunately. Anyhow, okay, so treat and all. Okay, and while that's being treated, how's the body viewer going on? It's finished. So the liver, neuroemotional, digestive, Maitreya's glory, enlightenment, and number 5. Let's do allergy, infection. Let's go back so I don't go back and forth. Allergy, infection, inflammation, circulatory. What else? Information I have, the brain. Let's load the entire brain. Okay. Whatever information I have gotten till now, it's hints for you to put on piggyback. Okay, because sometimes you can't do everything in one session. So the piggyback therapies support your therapies that you're doing in the foreground, but it's also supporting the hints that are the body that's needed, that needs support. Okay. The software keeps giving you information and hints. Okay, so you can load these all on piggyback. Digestive, large intestine. Okay, interior for the bowel flora. What else came up? A lot of emotions. Let's go psychology. Addiction for his smoking. Anxiety. Okay. Addiction with compulsive is also good to do together. Defense mechanism, the denial that was coming up in the beginning, and the I know, relaxation. Okay. And maximum human potential. Doing the best he can do. This is good for everybody. Okay. I like also to do the corpus callosum, left and right brain, to balance the brain out. Okay. Learning disability is good for everybody. He's very smart. He doesn't have, but we all have room for improvement. And autism I like to do because it reduces the stress. Okay. I will do also the brown noise for toxicity that was coming up. Okay. Let those run. How much did I get? 54%. Do a treat again. Now we need to look into the traumas, because remember, trauma in the risk panel was number 1 risk. And trauma also came up in age 2.5, 3 years old for the chain reaction. Need to look into that. Let's see how we're going to do it. Getting into more exciting things. And unfolding, the mystery. $79. Let's do it again. We're at 90. Okay. Let's do a close here. Zap close. Let's see what comes up in. Now, he doesn't have AIDS. I know he doesn't have AIDS. But the thing is that when people get an X under Zap AIDS virus family, it means that their immune system is being compromised in some way. Leukemia is coming up. Allergies are coming up. His immune system is low. A lot of coughing is coming up. Long COVID is coming up. Issues like that. Amoebas tend to do colonies where there's toxicity. Autoaggressive dysfunction. Autoaggressive is an immune response that's hyper, that triggers issues. So autoaggressive dysfunction, something is going on around there too. Worms. Okay, there we go with the bowel flora and fungus, miasms for the heredity, psychological disorders, enzyme intolerance. So this is all interesting what's coming up, bowel flora, okay. Okay, all this is really interesting what's coming up, okay, and you just jot them down. You know you have a lot of things to do already, just jotting them down. Now, I didn't load in the beginning. You know, you like to load on your first line and on your second line a couple of items here to be loaded there. I should have done that in the beginning, and that is why I'm just correcting myself. If there's no, you know, if you forget something, it's okay. You can just go back here and just do a load again, because these things that you're loading here are also loaded in the short SAR code. And if you're layering in your therapy, it's loaded within the artificial intelligence, so it can be worked on throughout your entire therapy. Okay, so yeah, because I got into talking and I forgot to load on the bottom. That's why. The first thing you do in the beginning is loading your first and second lines. Okay, look, large intestine, bowel flora. Okay. Next step, go to universal biofeedback therapy. Okay. Now you can do a lot of things here, right? First thing though, you definitely need to do is the vagus, the sympathetic, the parasympathetic, and over again till everything is rectified, till over 85. I'm not going to do it now because this takes time and I want to do some other exciting stuff with you. Okay, so just know you need to start with this, because what did I say in the beginning about the vagus nerve? It reduces the stress level on your entire system, helps your immune system, reduces inflammation, helps with the psychosomatic. Okay, so this is very important in starting off this way. Okay, so you're going to do the vagus nerve, sympathetic, parasympathetic, and over again till each one of them is over 100. Okay, on a circular motion. Close here. And trivector. Lo and behold, trivector is one of the top suggested ones, and so is auto frequency therapy for Rife. Going into auto trivector, obviously I would do the auto trivector, and the auto trivector here is very important to do because, you know, it layers in also other areas. I'll do it so I can show you. Click always the electrochelation boost because it helps with detoxing heavy metals from your body. Do a start. Look, trauma and distress tissue detected. So the trivector therapy is one of the strongest therapies here in your device because it's balancing electrically your entire body and neurologically, and very, very important, while also incorporating three, things here for better assimilation. Trivector not complete, use prepare special treatment and restart. Okay, so you do a prepare special treatment, so you can do a restart, a second round on your trivector. Okay, and you see the start button activate again, so we'll do it. Okay, so Trivector complete for today. And it gives us to incorporate here vitamin U, ubiquinone, DNA regulation enzymes, and glutaminic acid for energy for the brain. Okay, so we rectify each one of these lines to help our electrical balancing of the body. 76. 96. Let's do the DNA regulation enzymes. 51. 70. 88. And supplying more energy to his brain with glutamic acid. 74. And one more time. Organ removed disturbs reading. Interesting. He doesn't have an organ removed. But he has, he has removed his 2 teeth, the wisdom. Maybe that's it. Interesting. Okay, so let's go into the DNA and see what gene is creating the issue. Let's see. Now here we're going to open up the Matrix Explorer so we can have that ready. The Matrix Explorer is an amazing tool so that we can use it while we can search the matrix while we're doing therapy and we're not stuck. So flaw in chromosome 8, 9, and 22, 3 chromosome. Yes, organ can be teeth. Yes, Jenny. Each tooth is connected to an organ. So it's considered an organ. 8, 9, and 22. So let's, the moment that we scan, the next times we press the same button, it's repairing. It's not scanning again. The further ones are repairing. So let's look at 8, 9, and 22. So chromosome 8. Chromosome 8 has to do with, let's take a look again. Chromosome 8 has to do with hyperlipoproteinemia and renal issues. Acidosis, okay. Plasminogen deficiencies, and here renal, okay, 8. Let's see, chromosome 9, leukemia, oh my goodness, and parasympathetic nervous system failure, okay, and autonomic parasympathetic nervous system failure has definitely to do with the allergies and autoimmune response, right? And let's see, 22. Parkinson's, glucose, malabsorption. Okay, leukemia again coming up. So, that's, blood issues. And remember, in allergies, in the virtual doctor test that we did in the risk profile for allergies, a lot of blood issues was coming up with the emotional response. Okay, so these things we don't want to see. So let's repair these genes, and so that there won't be any tendency towards this. You see how a story is made with everything that's coming up? We haven't gone into a lot of panels yet, and yet we all know where this is all leading. And it's interesting. And degeneration came up twice, so not a good sign either for the leukemia and his immune system. Okay, and it's giving us some hints here that there's some dysfunction in the tryptophan. He needs more sleep, regulation in Q enzymes, zinc he needs, cobalt. Okay, 80% now. Let's do it one more time. %, and as soon as you get over 85%, you will notice that the button here gets deactivated because you're okay. Now, what I would do here is I would click on each line here so that I get a rectification for each line. Okay, helping him with his sleep and his tryptophan, helping him with the Q enzymes, with the zinc, with the cobalt, and the waters in his body. 2 times it comes up. Excess animal protein, processed sugar, animal fat. Get these rectifications up, helping his body overcome whatever he's eating. Okay. I would also do the correction and stabilization AFE program here. This one down here. I'm not going to do it now because I need to show you some more stuff. Close. Now, the trivector I did. I could do the auto frequency, but I'm not right now because I want to show you some other things. And of course, I always finish with the auto scaler. I'm not going to do it now though, because this also takes quite some time. And time is so limited, okay? Now, obviously, you can't do everything in one therapy that you want, that I've jotted down here. We need a couple of therapies so that we can, get over all this. But, I just want to show you some interesting things that you can do. Obviously, you do your top suggested. You finish off with your autoscaler. You can do Rife therapies here that I've showed you in your technician courses. Rife therapies are great because you can zap issues like the amoebas that were coming up, or allergies in itself. We can find from the Rife book what Rife would be good to address allergies and pollen and hay fever, etc. Okay, and we load all those in here, but I'll do it another time with you. And let's go. The next step is very, very important, since blood was coming up and leukemia was coming up associated with allergies. I would definitely do the bone marrow here with everything clicked. Definitely. Okay. And because leukemia was coming up a lot, I would definitely also do leukemia. And somewhere we saw the lipoprotein disorders. Lipoprotein disorders is a metabolic issue. Okay, so I would definitely do that. Okay. You can also do blood toxicity because there's a lot of toxicity with it going on. Okay, all these are very, very important to do. If you don't have enough time in one session, do the bone and the leukemia, since leukemia was coming up, but the bone marrow is definitely one of the most important. Get it rectified over 85. And if you have time, you can do the others. And obviously, I would do the immune stimulation and stem cell. Increase his immune system. Okay. Now let's go into the emotions. Look, deep detox, inherited, acquired, miasmatic, conditions. Interesting. Now, after doing the blood therapy, it's a good idea also to look into the homotoxicology panel. Now, depending on what therapy number you're at, if you're in your first session, you would just go into the homotoxicology and look, see where he's at, get the information you need. Okay, his highest stressor is sugar use. I would have thought it's smoking, but it's his sugar use, and his stress is his highest issues. And blockage to cure is the resistance to change, that denial. Okay, interesting how that's coming up, right? Now, it is under constitutional side here, the cellular phase. The blue side here is not the good side. We want everybody on this side. He's starting to accumulate bad cell accumulation, that mast cell. We don't want that. Areas of concern is ear, mucus. There we go with the allergies. Pineal gland, bone, marrow, and the red's lymphatic. Menstrual flow, that's not for him. Maybe his girlfriend, tonsils. Okay, something is going on here. Okay, now we can look forward and going into homotoxicology and getting a bigger picture of the toxicity in his body without doing therapy. If it's the first time, if it is the third time, I would start doing therapy here and getting him to detox. Virus, sugar toxicity, there again, the sugar. Stress is his biggest, and mental retention of toxins. Insecticides, environmental. His biggest issue is stress. Okay, so we can do this, but I'm not going to stay here. Let's go into NLP. And let's go into unconscious reactivity. Unconscious reactivity is where you address past trauma. Okay? He is going on 21. He's 20, going on 21. Let's start. Gestation week 35, emotional conflict with friends, physical trauma with awareness. Your patient needs more oxygen. Forgiveness of God is necessary. Inside him, he's feeling, it seems like here it's saying, you know, God, why is this happening to me? Okay, let's, disease type. Let's put in his psychological, blood, immune, okay, allergies. We're looking for traumas that have triggered these issues. That's the logic, okay? So let's see the disease path of what past traumas have triggered these issues. Now, when I do these therapies, this therapy, when you do a therapy on unconscious reactivity with a client, you must always tell them that in the next 2 or 3 days, you may have symptoms of feeling maybe more sensitive, you want to cry, you're angry, you don't feel psychologically well, but it's just the process of these past traumas coming up to the surface and leaving. And within 2 or 3 days, you'll be fine. It's very important for your clients to know this. When they know what may happen, they won't call you in a fit. Okay, they know it's because of you, and you tell them it's because of what I'm doing now. Okay, just know that because you know these traumas come to surface, and you may have forgotten them in the past, but there. So look at this. in week 7. Childhood 3. There we go. That 3. Remember in the chain reaction. 5. Yes. 10. Yes. Age 13. Again. Yes. And yes, 19 and 20. Age 20, this year was a difficult year for him. This is when he turned 20. It was a difficult year for him. And, he needs to explore himself more. Lack of awareness, toxins, a lot of toxins. Okay, interesting, right? Interesting. And it got right to the point. Me as his mother, I know. Yeah. At gestation week 35 is when he was born, 2 weeks before, right? It's 875. So he was born at the end of his 8th month with a cesarean. And that was his trauma. Interesting, right? Interesting. Again, this relating to his immune sensitivity. Okay, rectification 93. That's good. Always after doing your unconscious reactivity, because you're doing past trauma and you want to lighten the effect of this therapy so that they don't get too emotional, because they'll start remembering with just doing this therapy, they'll start remembering everything that they went through, right? So you want to dissipate karma, okay, for forgiveness, get things done with, over with. Hello, Soren. So, yeah, yes, also separation traumas, definitely. Yeah, it's really important to discuss, whatever comes up with this, with your client, because, it's like a self-awareness. They start understanding themselves better and they get more in tune with themselves. That's why our amazing technology, it helps a person really understand, what they've gone through, how they've been affected, in all this. Really, really important, because sometimes with people just, put things behind traumas and they're just building up. And they're building up just like, in this little cub, and the traumas just build up in the stress level. And it overflows. So while that's working, what else do we have on Piggyback? We only have the body viewer. I would also put disease dictionary. Let's see, the unconscious choice is abortion. Obviously, a man cannot have an abortion, but I don't know what he's going through, and he hasn't told me. Interesting. Revealing, right? Anyways, why don't we just put allergies here? Allergy, okay, and quick calibrate, and quick test. People always tell me, my goodness, this is it's so revealing. It gives our innermost secrets, revealing. Long-term and treat. Okay? So, the next thing that I would like to do when you do your unconscious reactivity is going to your biofeedback relaxation panel. Okay, and I would do the release karmic bonds. Okay, that way you're cutting off whatever's linking to you to your past trauma, and then going to relaxation to, where is it? Reprogram karma. Getting new karma. New things coming up. Okay. Kind of lightening whatever you've done with bringing to surface past traumas. Okay, so that they won't have a crisis therapy, making it as light as possible. You can also do, while you're here, the psychosomatic disorder for allergies. I always like to do unconscious choice. Click it 3 times and see what comes up. Super learning stimulation for a clearer mind. Interesting. Somewhere we saw the brain training. It needs brain training. Biofeedback here. Unconscious choice. Okay. Look. Magnetic polarity. Spiritual attack. Somewhere we saw as a secondary. It was in the virtual doctor test for allergies. Secondary was spiritual attack. Interesting. And stress in spine. Remember, age 3, the stress in his spine. Interesting, right? So we can close here. I always like to do unconscious choices. See what comes up. Spiritual growth. Very important. Spiritual growth, ascension, stimulation, so he can become more aware of what's going on around him, feeling better, lighter, getting more insight and self-awareness, and a creativity, activating his inner potential. This will help with his confidence. I like making these an AFE, long-term therapy, active, and you can make these therapies AFE so they're even stronger. Okay? And last but not least, after doing past trauma, physically stressed environment. Okay. Why don't we load that one? Is doing the body scan and face therapy. Because when you're when you're clearing your aura, right? You're clearing and you're lightening up past trauma, because past trauma is embedded in your aura. So the more we experience in things in life, and we have stressors in life and past trauma, the more stressed and the heavier our aura becomes with these past memories. Okay, so this therapy is very important in clearing and helping clear those past memories that are embedded in there. So treat foci. Treat foci. Treat foci. Get those foci. The foci is these red and blue circles that are bold. And we'll go to the front side and treat foci. Get that red and blue bold circles out. Those are past traumas. He had a past trauma there in this area. Okay, the left side. The right side. So clearing all that. Probably with the spinal. Interesting how it's there on the spinal, maybe his injury there. It's coming up a lot there. Maybe also his lungs. And back to the aura. And look, when you see these little square, these are superimpositions, okay, that are affecting him. That needs to be cleared. You don't want that. Usually this is on the right side, so this can be the right is the female or the male. It's either a female figure or a male figure on the left. I think the right is the female and the left is the male figure. Okay, our goal here is to have all the chakras aligned and get the colors till the outer rim, right? So we're getting those chakras aligned and get the colors to the outer rim. Beautiful, nice colors without any squares, without any, there. Now it's on the other side. Still wants to do some work here. Dysfunction in all layers, flaw in cosmic layer. So dealing with the world. Okay, here we go. So flaw in astral, so spiritual level and causal. Some snags. He needs more laughter in his life. Someone's dominating him. He's bargaining. He's kind of rationalizing things as much as he can. He went through a shock. Everything's inside him. So we don't know if we had him here, he could say things to us. Okay, but this is ideally. Okay, when you want to do past traumas, it's a good idea always to do this, to lighten off, the load that you've brought forward all the past traumas. So you want to lighten off that load on him so there's no crisis therapy. Now, last but not least, I would like to show you also the Allergy panel. He is reacting to so many things. We do not want so much reactions here. Okay, sugar reaction, pollen sensitivity, sensitivity to odors, grain for gluten, dairy sensitivity, animal hair. He does react. He needs work. Okay. So what we do is try to lower his sensitivities. What I do is I double click on everything that's over 100 and take some of the 99 numbers too. And what I'm doing is helping the person in desensitizing him in his top issues, in his top reactions. This will help him indirectly with all this. This is also being loaded as a piggyback. Okay. Put also all the funnel. These are the chemicals in his environment that he's reacting to. So what I've done, in essence, I've loaded all his issues that he does react to. And this will also be worked with the desensitization on these issues as well. So we go to hyperreactant chart here and help desensitize. Okay. So while that's running, okay, let's go to iridology and also let's load his brain. Somewhere it was also his brain that was coming up. Somewhere we saw the brain circulation in the virtual doctor test. Let's also load his eyes because he does have sensitive eyes. I always like to do glaucoma just for precautionary reasons. Okay, from the dust and pollen. Okay. Miscellaneous skin sensitivity. He does have skin sensitivity. The digestion, definitely. And here, endocrine for his stress level, right? His eyes, his kidney, his large intestine, his liver, right? His lymph. Okay. Let's do an unconscious choice. His skull. Let's click some inflammation, allergy relief. Okay, rectified 91. So what we do here is close and go to hyperreactant therapy and load Allergy report items. It will load here everything that was loaded. You'll notice it takes us to the universal biofeedback therapy, 2 meridians. Relieve redness for his redness, probably red eyes or red skin. But let's also do mental factors, inflammation, histamine cascade, relieve sneezing and mast cell excess. Body areas affected. What was his body areas affected? Was blood, right? His brain, circulation, cardiovascular. These are from the notes I took till now, right? You're taking notes while you're going through your therapies. You're not just pressing buttons, you're getting hints so you know what to load afterwards. So blood, brain, cardiovascular, emotions. Okay, what else? The metabolic. Okay, allergic symptoms. Hay fever. redness in eyes. Okay, asthma, right? I'm not going to do it now because it'll take at least 3 minutes or what have you. I usually put 3 minutes here and then I start desensitization. I do it over and over again till the rectification is over 85. Okay. This therapy, allergy desensitization with meridians, I usually always do if and especially if it says it as a top therapy. It didn't say it today, but I wanted to show you because it is a must when you're dealing with allergies to do this. Okay. And then go back here. Out of curiosity, emotional link. What emotional link is it giving us for shock? He's gone through a sensuality and shock. Something's going on. Something's going on. So we'll see. And we check current rectifications. There is still deficiency or excess in vitamins that he needs to get unblocked in the constitutional for homeopathy. It did tell us to do homeopathy. Okay. So that's one way in dealing with allergies. I hope you enjoyed our lesson today. I hope you learned something new. I'm always here for you to help you in any way I can. Please send us a message on what you want our next webinar to do. I love your ideas, so give me ideas. We'll be having another webinar in maybe, at the end of June. We can arrange one. Okay. Sending you my love, hoping you enjoyed your night tonight with me. Thank you so much for being the entire time with me. Love you all. Kisses.